for us as film fans or as TV fans, we get really nostalgic over some characters, especially when a movie or a TV show that comes out is so as beloved and is well received, and people are like, that guy is the only person in the world who could play that character. That woman is the only person I could see playing this character. For example, Robert Downey Jr. Being cast as Iron Man, I was an example, but we knew that one of the people that was on the short list to play Iron Man back in the day was Tom Cruise. Things like that. Are you one of those types of fans? Do you look at a movie or a TV show and you go, I only can see this person, and I can never, even if it's the greatest actor in the world, actress in the world, can't see anybody else playing that role? Or how are you when it comes to nostalgic? What I'm calling nostalgic hindsight. What do you think about that?
I think it definitely, when you watch a movie and you enjoy a character, you really invest, and that becomes your guy, and you really want to champion their success and them in that role, and you start looking at someone else to fill those shoes, and it does feel awkward. It may not seem like a good fit. The casting process in general is very complex. There's so much to keep in mind. Who makes that decision? Who gets cast in the role? A director, a producer, a studio requires an actor, budget concerns. So there's so much that goes into that to think about, who lands in that role. There are some that I've seen, when I look and see, oh, this person was up for running on that role as well. There's some that I see, I'm like, okay, yes, that person could have slipped into that role and been successful.
Right.
And then there's, there are some where it's like, no, you see the person really knocked it out of the park.
Right.
And there's also, there's movies that I've watched where I was like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that casting for that role. And someone else could have maybe pulled that off a little bit stronger, done a little bit better character.
Right. What about you, Joy? What do you think about nostalgic hindsight? Do you have it? Are you the type of person that goes, that's my gal, that's my guy for that role, or I couldn't see other people in it?
I mean, like, I obviously, you have roles and you're like, I love that person in it, and I wouldn't want it another way, but I don't have a problem seeing, saying, I could see that probably would have been all right.
Yeah.
Because I think it kind of ties into the same problem that we have today with when someone passes away and we don't want to recast. I was literally
just thinking about like Chadwick Boseman and stuff like that.
Oh, no one else can do it?
Yeah.
Because why? Or when just in a lot of times we see it more in TV shows when someone says, you know what, I have other things I want to do in my life and I'm done. And instead of us just saying, we weren't done telling the story of this character, so we'll just find someone else to replace. We feel like the only answer is we got to kill them off or write them out of the show or whatever. And it didn't used to be that way. Like, shows routinely, someone left, we just replaced them with someone else. And we put across, Interview with the Vampire, we put across the screen, please note, this season, XX character is now being played by this person. And, so we did replace him. It's the same character. And they used to do that in TV shows a lot. And now we've suddenly decided, nope, no one else can do it.
Yeah.
It has to be that person and no one else.
Especially when someone dies, especially in that situation, people feel like when I remember when people were saying that Heath Ledger, for example, that when he was announced that he was playing the Joker, and like, the Brokeback Mountain guy, no way, it's gonna be so terrible. But when we saw the performance, especially after when he passed, now people were like, greatest Joker in the world, no one ever could play him. And then when Jared Leto played a Joker after, it was like, see, no one's ever gonna be better than Heath Ledger. But I mean, Jared Leto is an Oscar winner. I am not in that mindset that only one can play, because what about that situation when a person ages out or passes away or whatever the situation is? Nowadays we're dealing with universes or studios end or universes end and they reboot. We're dealing with things like this.
We see actors and actresses who maybe start a TV series or a movie at a young age and suddenly become huge, and then they're like, I don't want
to play it anymore.
I have other things. I'm being cast in everything, and I don't want to do this anymore. But instead of us saying, okay, well, we need to find someone else that's suitable, we just go, we're not going to do it anymore. We end it. We kill the, like, we don't say, let's just find someone else. We found them. We can find someone else.
Right. And
I do think there's been some success stories, and then there's been some stories that where the character just didn't land,
didn't feel right after,
didn't have the right feel, or they weren't quite as strong of an actor, or they weren't quite as strong in that role, and they just didn't come off as quite as successful. So
can you think of any that off the top of your head? I was a second ago I was thinking about, like, remember what happened with Dumbledore. I mean, everybody was upset when they heard that he was going to be recast after his, the original actor's passing. Obviously, it had to happen. I mean, the man passed away. But when it happened, it's I don't feel like the movies lost a step.
I thought that was a successful transition. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it kept. It's not. It's like, why would you want to rewrite the story to say, like, maybe that Dumbledore passed away, or it's like, I'm retiring, I'm not going to be. I mean, because it's gonna hurt the story.
I think we enjoyed the new casting for Interview with a Vampire. We thought they did a very good job.
I felt like that young lady. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I almost don't even feel like it was a different person. Both of those actresses did such an outstanding job. I didn't even feel the recast.
I mean,
I just felt like it just kept. I would have to go back and watch season 1 to go, oh yeah, that was a different. She did such a good job fulfilling the role. I didn't feel it.
Like back in the day, Bewitched. There's 2 different.
That's a good example.
They did such a good job casting that it is very hard to. They look
the husband,
similar.
right?
Yeah,
they
look very similar. It's very hard to tell the difference.
I've heard about that. I remember that.
And you're like, wait, what?
Well, let's go. Well, while we're talking about this, let's go down the list of some of these actors and actresses that have been in this situation where it's like they almost played these certain key roles. And if you guys in the chat, if you have any examples that we do not cover, let us know in the comments, or just at all, if you want to just write down some actors who almost played certain characters that you think would be an interesting to add to the conversation. So let's run down real fast a few of them. Let me see if let me put you guys up on screen again real quick. Let me get your thoughts on it. Starting with here we go. Number 1. It was an interesting conversation right here.
Yes.
Edward Scissorhands was almost played by Tom Cruise. Jack from Legends. Get her, Jack! Almost played.
Yeah, and you already know that with the relationship that Burton had with Johnny Depp. That was, I don't think that set in question in casting for very long.
Yeah,
I think that one was a pretty easy layup.
But think of the hindsight. But at the time, especially in the mid or early 90s, if Tom Cruise would have played the character, and if he would have done it just as good or even a better job, would we be saying that?
I mean, Tom Cruise has done great acting, so I don't doubt his abilities. It's just very hard to picture it in terms of, it's in this particular instance, it's really, really hard because we don't really see Tom Cruise ever do weird, like eccentric, crazy. Johnny Depp's known for that.
Right.
But to do really weird roles like that, that's not his forte.
Until his career took a bit of a dip and he needed a what's the good word, like a boost to his career, and then Les Grossman graced the screen. I don't know if you guys remember that from Tropic Thunder.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the weirdest roles he ever played, and to a point where go back and look at Les Grossman on Tropic Thunder. After seeing that, I can see Tom Cruise playing a weird character like Edward Scissorhands. So, but that's just, like I said, hindsight. It's 2020, guys. So I feel like if it would have still been well received with Tim, that maybe the combo would have been Tim Burton / Cruise. Maybe instead of Burton / Depp. With that bond, maybe, who knows? In another universe, it'd be all these movies that Tom Cruise could be Jack Sparrow because of, if in another universe, Tom takes all the roles that Depp would have did eventually play, something like that.
I think
Tom
you just
would be
made
that
people's
weird
head explode.
Yeah, right. Tom Cruise playing all those weird roles because of how well he would have crushed Edward Scissorhands. That's a example of that. Going back to the first picture, I think the collage of it, Scarlett Johansson instead of Emily Blunt.
Yep.
Emily is that for
Black Widow.
Black Widow, yes. What do you think about that?
I mean, I love Emily Blunt, so.
That's a character.
That's one of those casting roles that I think could have been successful.
Either or, right? Yeah, I agree. Spider-Man, Timothy Chalamet as Peter Parker. Come on, that's. What do you think about that one?
I'm not feeling that one personally.
But in hindsight, if he would have got the role and crushed it, I mean, he's a good actor. He's a great actor. Some people are saying he's on pace to be one of the best. I haven't seen Dune 1 and 2 yet, so I don't know.
He did really well.
Great. Nicolas Cage as Iron Man? As Tony Stark? That was one that was on the list that I saw. That's, I don't know. What you like Nicolas Cage, right?
I have a love
you love Gone in 60 Seconds.
I love Gone in 60 Seconds.
But could you see Nick Cage playing Tony Stark?
In his heyday back in the day, yeah.
And then the next one was Dave Bautista as Drax. I'm not Dave Bautista. Jason Momoa as Drax. That's one of just like the Black Widow one. That's one I could see either or playing that one. That's just an example of that. Here's another good one that Robert brought to my attention here that I did not know about at all. Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson
in The Godfather.
He can do anything. So absolutely, he could have done it.
You see that one?
I think that one could have done just as well. However, the funny line from Jack Nicholson when he turned down the role was Indians should play Indians and Italians should play Italians.
I was literally about to ask that. I mean, I know he was in that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. What was that movie? The undercover where he played. He was an undercover cop going after Jack Nicholson's
good movie. Was it The Disturbed?
The Departed. The Departed.
Yep, The Departed.
He was in The Departed, and I was like, "Is Jack Nicholson Italian?" I'm like, I never got, but I guess that's kind of funny. I didn't know he. I thought maybe he was Italian, and I just didn't know. And then when you said that he was almost in The Godfather, I okay, maybe that he is. So you're saying he's not? He is not Italian?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right. But hey, if you like it, I love it. Here's one that, babe, I think you might like. Check it out. What do you think? Molly Ringwald was almost cast in Pretty Woman.
I mean,
she turned it down.
It would have been nice to see what all Molly Ringwald could have done.
I mean, she was still at the time kind of that it girl.
It's hard to picture that just because everything she has really done was I'm a sweet, innocent
but
girl.
That's the thing that
so
fascinates
that would have been
me.
nice to see her. Like I said, it would have been nice to see her do things and see where everything would have went for her because, that Brat Pack, a lot of them just kind of fell off for a long time.
I honestly think that would maybe they're right. Maybe we're right about that. Maybe that's why she may have turned it down. If she turned it down, or if maybe they just thought Julia did a better job in the audition or whatever. But that could have been a whole new path for her career. Maybe not. I mean, I guess we'll never know. In another universe, who knows? But that was very interesting, in my opinion. Another one that I thought was Pacino, Han Solo. Oh my God! I was like, really? Is this? This is one of the ones where I'm gonna say, hoorah! I can't see it. I could not see it. But at the same time, what was one of Harrison Ford's? That moment where he was making Luke jealous because he was kind of flirty with. You think a princess like her would ever get with a guy like him? And then Luke was, no, I don't. No, maybe okay, maybe that's. What do you think about that, Joy? Do you think
that I don't really see?
You can see it. You can see it. What about you, Robert? Could you see Pacino?
I think he could play the rogue, but I think the aloof rogue that Harrison Ford pulled off is probably a little better for him.
I could have also been. That means he could have been Indiana Jones. Who knows what would have happened? Who knows? Interesting, very interesting. Both. I mean, him and Harrison are great actors, but just like with Robert Downey Jr. I mean, they wrote the character in a certain way, but then when Robert brought so much of himself into it, then they started to write the character with Robert in mind more. Like, that makes sense. Or they allowed Robert to put him, because I feel like Robert Downey Jr. helped elevate the character of Iron Man all the way around. Who knows what would have happened in this universe? I don't know. We could be saying that this was the best. I can't believe they almost gave this role to that guy named Harrison Ford. That's ridiculous. Here's one where I was thinking this could have been perfect casting. Leonardo DiCaprio in American Psycho, one of my favorite movies. And in a way, we kind of got this character in Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, there wasn't as much murder that was happening in Wolf of Wall Street, but that Wall Street asshole type of... I see Leonardo DiCaprio playing Jared Leto's character. I forgot his name that he played. That scene where Christian Bale is wearing his raincoat because he was about to axe Jared Leto in the face. That character there, I could see Leonardo DiCaprio playing that one. But that was a smaller role, so maybe, I don't know, Leonardo. I don't know, because this movie speaks to me. This is one of my favorite movies. I love this movie. But you... Rob, what do you think? Could you see Leo pulling?
I think he could have pulled this off. I really do.
Wasn't it Patrick Bateman? Was that his name?
Yeah.
That's the character's name? Yeah.
I think so. I think he could have pulled that off really well. The narcissistic personality character. Yeah. He like he showed in Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. I think he could have done it.
It would have been amazing. Have you ever seen American Psycho?
Not recently, but yeah.
But I don't know. I think he would have been perfect. I can see a universe. When I saw that, I was like, now I want to see that movie. I want to see that movie, or at least I want to see a YouTube video of Leo doing some of the scenes. I know we ran long on this topic, but I want to go ahead and run through them real fast. Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs. We almost got Michelle Pfeiffer. That's another one. And when I saw, I was like, on paper, I was like, either or. I'm glad with with what we got, but I could see Michelle Pfeiffer doing it. Any thoughts or any objections, babe? What do you think? With Michelle Pfeiffer? I
like Michelle Pfeiffer, but I don't know.
Can't see it.
I don't know.
In hindsight, could have been the best role. She could have been got another. Was that an Oscar win for what was her name?
Jodie Foster.
For Jodie Foster, was that
I think so.
Yeah. But in hindsight, who knows? Maybe Michelle, maybe she would have. Who knows?
They just have such different acting styles. Yeah. Because I was really glad to see Jodie Foster back when we watched recently that.
The True Detective.
Yes, yeah. She was so good. Yeah.
Well, that's a few of them that we had in that universe. You guys, we all do it. There's these actors and these roles that we play that game with, like, oh my God, I can't believe they almost cast such and such to play. Speaking of Edward Scissorhands, Michael Jackson was on the short list of that, is what I saw.
Even in the stuff that hasn't come out, when, they're about to cast, for XX movie, and everyone's, this person would be the best. Oh, this would be great, or this would be great. And then, people get cast, like when Ben Affleck got cast, and everybody went, no, why? And then he turned out to be fabulous.
But one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best Batman.
I mean, his telling of that story when he got cast and I can't remember which late night talk show he was on, and he said, my agent told me, like, dude, just stay off the internet for a while.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna destroy you.
Just don't. And he goes, and I told myself, I'm a tough dude. Come on, Jiggly, I can take it.
I can handle it. Oh no,
this.
he was not ready for those comic sweaty nerds.
Threads, and the very first thing was just no.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think he almost cried on that one.
And he was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to look at this anymore.
And we have seen, enough fan fervor for characters for people to get cast in a role that it materialized.
Multiverse of Madness. We the fans demanded it, and Kevin gave it to us. What was it? What's another one that you can think of?
Patrick Stewart.
From the same movie, right?
X-Men.
X-Men
to play Xavier.
Yeah, originally, yes, yeah, that was fan casting.
When he was doing Star Trek, and
yeah,
and it's like, everybody's like, oh, he'd make the, he is the quintessential.
I was gonna say, I love Patrick
Professor
Stewart.
X.
Yeah,
and it eventually, after years and years of that, it materialized.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, guys, hindsight is 2020. But some of these roles, there's just some roles. I guess we can go and let me know in the comments. What character are you like? No, only that guy could have played, or that woman could have played that character. Or is there a certain almost or what could have been scenario where you're like, yeah, I could, definitely Emily Blunt may have been a better choice than Scarlett Johansson, or maybe Michael Jackson would have been better for Edward Scissorhands. Let us know in the comment section below. Would not have been a better choice, no. Let us know in the comment section what you guys think about that, and share your thoughts on what casting that you think would be a better choice, or that character that you're like, no, only this person can play that role. Let us know in the comments, and let's keep talking. Okay, thank you guys for watching our video. I really do appreciate it. Remember, you can support our show by becoming a member or a Patreon. So click the subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so you'll never miss out on when we go live or post new content. Let's stay connected, grow this community together. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's keep talking.